Inside your bedroom, we stopped counting the days, lost in the rhythm.
Oh, I was gonna record a video, but then I just got water all over my new shirt. I'm gonna have to wait for that to dry before we can film. Ooh. Hey, hello. So let's chat a little bit about life recently and all of the things that I have going on. First, I have started with my first round of edits with my first client. I'm going to put my editing rates here. These are the services I'm offering. I can also do like a general manuscript look, but I haven't priced that out and I haven't had anyone approach me that's interested. But I am open to doing that if somebody needed it. But here's my rates. Here's what I'm working on. So far, I have mostly developmental editing clients, and I have one client who also wants a couple rounds of copy editing for different projects. So I'm also doing that right now. Aside from that, editing is going really well. I have not gotten too deep into my first client's book at this point, but I did start that this week. So very exciting. I am really liking it so far, and excited to expand more in the world of Amy Prokopis publishing. That has changed a lot in the summer months as I have moved into doing this full time. Yes. So maybe we need to talk and like recap a little bit about the spring. Let's do that. Let's go back into the spring a little. If you didn't know, if you're new here, I'm Amy Prokopis. I write primarily fantasy romance. I do have a science fiction novel, The Arena, which was my very first book. And I have been writing for a very, very long time, but I have only been publishing a couple of years. And during that time, I have been a high school German teacher, English teacher. I taught English language learners. I taught reading skills. German was my favorite thing to teach. It was very fun and different. So yes, I do speak German. It's been a while since I've used that skill, but I do speak another language, which is kind of fun. And I also have a master's degree. I have a bachelor's degree in English language and literature and a minor in German, which is how I got into like the field of everything. And those are also my editing credentials. And I also have a master's degree in school counseling with more credentials that I am wrapping up right now towards being a clinical therapist, which is what I am moving into now. So if you're new, I was working as a counselor at a high school until May when I left that job, and I left in order to do more publishing things because that had expanded a lot. Books had been going well. I wanted to edit a little also and move into clinical therapy. And in order to do that, I had to do supervision hours. So to do that was going to be very, very difficult with a full-time school counseling gig plus everything that I've been doing with my books. The publishing side of things has expanded and blown up a crazy amount since January, to the point where I was barely making it work with my full-time job and books and family and social life, yada, yada, you know how it goes. So I decided I needed to leave the school counseling job, which was what I would plan to do anyway. And so I went ahead and did that to open up a lot more free time, to have more of a schedule that I can set, that I dictate, which I adore now. So this week I'm actually starting some of my last supervision and like credentials and testing towards being a clinical therapist. I start that this week, which I am ridiculously excited about. And I'm going to be doing that mostly full time, but the schedule is going to be flexible enough and lighter in general. It's just lighter load in general to the point that I'm going to have a lot more time to do writing and editing things, which is really exciting. So I am hoping to do a lot more in this area of my life and in this platform, with YouTube, writing my books, of course, definitely writing my books. I want to write all of those. And we'll chat more about that in a minute. And editing. So I have 3 clients, I believe, that will overlap through August for editing. So I think I maybe could take one more in there that starts in August. So if you're interested, let me know. I'm feeling really good. I needed this change. If you've stuck with me for a while, you kind of know that I have anxiety myself, and that has been a giant struggle in my life. It's something through my 20s that I had a very difficult time managing and reared its ugly head this last year. A lot of it was job related in the sense that the workload was just too much. It was too much. And then that grew to be more so in January when I had like an explosion on my social media accounts. I had set a goal like to get 1,000 more followers on Instagram and 1,000 more followers on TikTok. And within the month of January, I had surpassed my goal for the entire year. And I'm still doing that, which is crazy. My sales increased. I have gotten a lot more traction with that. And so the spring suddenly became extremely difficult on top of an already really busy job that I was working in and barely managing that workload. And then to suddenly have all of that growth, which was amazing. And I am very thankful for it. But it was overwhelming and I had to really take a step back from things. So I scaled back my writing. I scaled back publishing videos here on YouTube. And I also had to make some other adjustments in my life to manage the stress. Things like adjusting my schedule with my husband here at home and having my parents help out a little more with Finn, my toddler, which I'm very fortunate to have them around to help as well. It was just a lot for the remainder of the spring. And so when it came time for the end of the school year, it was perfect that I was stepping away. And I felt like I had done the most with what I had and the best that I could to leave things in a way that helped everybody out and also really launched myself, especially this platform, into an entire new era. So let's go on to talking about books and that whole new era of Amy Prokopis publishing I've been talking about for a very long time. In the past, I have published predominantly young adult books, and forever and ever and ever, that is what I have written. That is mostly what I've read. And as I have grown as a person, done a lot of soul searching and did more reading and really let my own tastes kind of guide me and my own skills as a writer, I have leaned more and more towards like a new adult direction. So the new era of Amy Prokopis Publishing, just because I was getting ready to leave job and I was going to finish all of these new credentials and go into 2025, hopefully as a licensed therapist. I just thought it was perfect to transition some other things as well that just were pulling me in that direction. It just seemed so easy to move that way. So the new era of publishing for me is writing new adult books. So that starts in October when I release Curse of Wings and Darkness, my steamy vampire romance. That releases October 1st. I am currently taking applications for ARC readers. There's a really cool incentive going right now if you pre-order the ebook for only $5.99. You get a ton of goodies and also get entered into a drawing for a $25 Amazon gift card. All of the details for all of these things are in the link tree below, along with my social media accounts, yada yada, you know how it goes. But October starts a new era of publishing for me, and I'm hoping in the spring, probably more the late spring, that I will be able to publish my next new adult book, which is back to my fantasy roots. I love writing fantasy. I love the character development and the world building, especially, that goes into writing fantasy books. So I'm going back to that as well, with a really gritty, very interesting, strong female character in the world of Trial of Flame and Wings, which is sort of inspired by Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent, and Fourth Wing, because it's also a dragon book, by Rebecca Yarros. So I am excited. I am currently writing that book this month in July for Camp NaNoWriMo. Don't ask me how that's going, because it's not been the best, but I am writing that book and I am loving it. Every time I sit down to write, I fall in love with these characters all over again, and I cannot wait to bring them to you. Those are really the updates as far as life these days, everything going on. There's been a ton of change in my life, because as well as like myself going through all of these changes with jobs and everything. My husband got a new position at work. Our toddler, he is going into pre-K. So we have a lot of changes in our world. And so thank you, first of all, those of you who've been around a while, thank you guys for bearing with me and being like really kind and supportive as I have had to adjust to some of these things. And thank you for your excitement also for me in making these changes, and for the new books coming out. I appreciate you guys all so much. Yes, I did not save some of the questions when I put out a call for them on Instagram, and the story timed out. So don't really have any questions from you guys to answer in this video, but leave them below in the comments on this video if you have questions, and I will answer them. So that's the update and where I am at this point. Have I met most of my goals for 2024? Because we are halfway through 2024 now. Yes. I don't think I will be able to publish the 3 books like I had hoped. I think the only book that I have left coming out is Curse of Wings and Darkness. I did release the last of the Guardians of the Sixth Gate trilogy, and actually I am going to be able to release 3, because I released the omnibus for Guardians of the Sixth Gate in June. So you can get the collector's edition. It has 3 bonus scenes in it. It's really, really pretty, gorgeous. Go check that out. It is in ebook and hardback right now. There's not a paperback version yet. I may get around to making that. But I also learned to do my own covers in 2024, which was a goal of mine. And my social media goals, I have well exceeded those by a lot. I don't actually know exactly what those are. I have no idea what my social media accounts are at now, but I will, in somewhere on the screen, I will put up, probably over here, what my goals were for 2024 and what I am currently at July 16th, right now at 1:30, the number of followers and everything that I have on my social media accounts. So this has been what the huge explosion was. So I have shattered that for 2024 for sure. Of course, I wrote and published Curse of Wings and Darkness. That'll be the start of a new series. Love that. If you love vampires, that's going to be your book. That goes back to more of like the old gothic kind of lore of vampires, which is fun. And Trial of Flame and Wings, I am in the middle of writing that, so I have not yet finished that for 2024, but I had hoped to finish writing that in July, right this month, for Camp NaNoWriMo. I don't think that is going to happen because I think this is going to be one of my longest books I've ever written. I don't think I'll finish it in July, but I do feel confident I'm going to finish it in at least the next month, because I love writing this book. When I sit down to write it, I am just like, holy, writing so many words at a time. So I may not be writing very often because of my new schedule and all these other things I have to juggle, and then balancing my time with editing also. But when I am sitting down to write, I am writing like a week's worth of words at a time. So I am very pleased and satisfied with that, which kind of brings me to, I think, the last thing I wanted to talk with you guys about, which is my entire campaign that has kind of become like a slogan here, the Read Books, Be Kind campaign. Read Books, Be Kind is all about being kind to yourself and others, and mental health awareness. It definitely comes from my own struggles, which is how we kicked off this series on YouTube, was with me sort of explaining my journey through therapy and anxiety and kind of how I got here, and also how my interests have evolved with that. Also, my background as a mental health, I'm not yet a certified mental health professional, but my background in psychology and all of my classwork towards being a therapist has definitely really amped up my writing. My character building is one of my favorite skills and one of my favorite parts of writing, and I really feel that my background in psychology only makes that better, and that is a huge thing I market to people about my skills as an editor, because I can help you create really well-rounded people whose intentions come through, and you know when you read a book and you just get the idea that these people go beyond just the surface of their character and what they're doing, that they're real people and there's layers there to their intentions and what has made them the way that they are, just like real people. That is so important to me in writing and in books I read. So that is a huge skill of mine, and my journey through psychology has really taught me how to do that. And it's also taught me how important it is that we all maintain our own mental health and that we take time off and we are kind to ourselves when we're busy, and that we give ourselves grace when we are in tough times. So things that you would naturally do for somebody else if they were having a difficult time or not feeling their best, this campaign is a reminder for myself to do those things for myself. So I have loved it. I do have themed merch for this on my merch site, which is also linked in the link tree. I haven't pushed it a ton. I love the merch for sure, but I just haven't pushed it a ton. I don't know, just doesn't come up in conversation very much. But I want to build on that branding as well, and I want to encourage other people to be kind, especially other authors. It is tough out here. It is so hard being an indie author. It's hard being an author in general, but when you're an indie author, all of the decisions are on your shoulders, and that can wear at you, and that can become overwhelming big time. And so it is super important for us that we are reminded why we are doing the things that we are doing and why we love writing in the first place. And that is what I go back to every time I'm having a tough time or I'm feeling really frustrated with my progress as an author. I remind myself, would you do this if you were making zero again? Because I was actually making negative. I was in the hole at one point with my books and my entire author branding. And I ask myself all the time, would you go back to making $0 and do it all over again? And the answer is yes, because I love writing that much. That is who I am. It's what I do for fun. It's where I feel most centered and most myself. So it's important that we're taking care of ourselves for sure, and giving ourselves grace and finding more joy in the world. And if your joy is, like for me, writing the books that I love and writing for myself, then we need to do more of that. And so I am excited to move into the last of this year and launch into 2025 in a few months with the same mindset. So yeah, that's where we are. This chat has been a little strange. It turned into like updates, me just rambling about things on my mind, and the like halfway into the year reflection. What do they call that? I don't even know. But we're midway into 2024. Here's where we're at. I hope you guys will stick with me going into 2025. And I hope you're all as excited about my books as I am. So that's pretty much it. Read books, be kind. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.